How do you ask Izuku Midoriya to fight for you? How do you ask someone to do something for you that's not their job? Good question. You don't ask them to do it. You manipulate them. You find a way to bring them to do it for you instead. Izuku, he's a helpless guy that simply just wants to help. But he can't help with the fact that he wants to help people. But now he's just a monster that's just trying to figure out what he's going to do with himself. He opens his eyes, looking around. Yet again, it's the depths of the ocean. Perfect. Just great. He rises slowly, and he swims. As he moves through the water, he proceeds to ponder. What does he do now? It's been, 4 or 5 weeks? Not long since. The repairs upon Kuo has been interesting, to say the least. Nothing has been happening, so he hasn't had a reason to really come out and fight. And it's been peaceful for a while. Well, that's what he thought until he sensed something. He paused and stopped. He sensed it. There it was again. That feeling. His eyes narrowed. The hell was he feeling? He swam. As he continued swimming, he made his way forward. There's always one thing that was bothering him. And technically, that's what it was. Here it was. Or more likely, what it was. He sensed another monster. Again? And something else? Doing something? More like it wasn't one monster, but two. Two of them. Why was he sensing two? He headed straight towards that feeling, where it was coming from. It was calling to him like a moth to a flame. Either that was a good thing or a very, very bad thing. He swam for it. He went towards it. It called to him. It was a beacon. As he got closer and closer, he pondered, what could it be this thing? He took the river. Once he got closer, it was Japan that this was coming from. He used Japan's waterways, going inland. It was at Kuo. His senses narrowed. Once he arrived, he proceeded to stomp his way through. The city was seemingly evacuating now. Everyone was shocked. The military was being armed, and they were firing at him. But he had one thing on his mind. Whatever that was seemingly doing something. It was sensing out. And it was sensing out pretty well. And he needed to figure out what it was. So he went. This was his chance. His chance to find it. And, well, he found it all right. It was right in front of him. Was that some sort of dome of energy? No one else could see it but his eyes. It was barely noticeable, barely noticeable. But there was a glimmer around a certain section. He snorted. What he was feeling was definitely activity. He moved in, just passing through its natural defenses. Somehow. Once he arrived inside, he looked around and he saw it. A crimson and red blur fighting within the air. The beast proceeded to pause as everyone in the vicinity saw the giant kaiju. Unknown to him, the Chaos Brigade were making an attack upon Kuo and the three factions attempt a peace. The moment that the monster arrived, they were all shocked that a giant kaiju proceeded to get involved in their skirmish. Issei proceeded to stop fighting volley for a moment to see the kaiju from a month ago now here. Its gray like dorsals glimmering in the moonlight. They reflected with light. Were they gray or white? Or silver? He couldn't tell. But he saw those eyes. Those orange eyes, reddish orange eyes. They were looking at him directly. And then volley. He proceeded to float down as surge percent stare. It looks like we have big company. Rios was shocked. That's the monster from a month ago. A month ago. That thing is here. How did it get through the barrier? What is that thing? As one proceeded to say, pointing at the monster. I don't know, but I don't like it. Another proceeded to form a spear, a conjure of magic, of energy, and toss and blasting it towards the giant monster. The kaiju proceeded to stand, and then it hit. It hit its chest. Its dark hide proceeded to absorb the attack like nothing. What the heck? Foolish. As the descendant of Leviathan proceeded to spat, that beast is nothing more than a trickery. I'll deal with it. She summoned a large amount of energy. It was blue in nature. She fired it. Here, the demonic energy. It proceeded to slam into the beast. For a moment, then boom. The moment everyone stilled, watching, and then the smoke cleared, it was still there, standing. It looked down at its chest, then looked back at her. Its face was still in that grimace scowl. Yes, its face was in a permanent scowl, but it didn't seem aggressive for now. His eyes narrowed, like those questioning. Izuku watched us all. Were these bad guys or good guys? He couldn't tell. What is going on? He proceeded to ponder, questioning. Everything he was literally seeing was defying logic. He stared at everyone and stared back. He looked at one. One made their eye contact towards him. And then they fired something at him. It got closer and closer yet again, and it hit him directly in the face. More likely in the eye. That spike of pain was enough to snap him out of this spasm and proceeded to roar out in pain. He took a step back and snarled. Monster instinct took over, glaring and turned towards the one that proceeded to fire. It was a simple gremlin. Gremlin got fired. No one special. Dorsals flash blue. The 3 rows of dorsals proceed to glow. And then a second later, he fired. A breath of pure destruction rained down upon him, and then he was literally eviscerated from the very world. Everyone was shocked. The monster simply erased that individual. While you watch, he was interested now. This beast was much stronger than it looked. It was a celestial dragon, a heavenly dragon in power, maybe stronger. This is interesting. His balance breaker proceeded into ooze power, or a massive amount of power. This one seems more interesting to fight. Volley, as Albion's voice proceeded to speak up, I would not recommend fighting that thing. Why not? It seems different. But would it not be interesting? It would. But not very smart. You gotta have some fun once in a while, Albion. And then the earth started to shake. Everyone paused as Izuku turned. His senses were picking something that was coming towards him. As something rose from the earth, making a large hole in the dust, a giant monster appeared. Another one. It looks more iguana-like, though. The beast stood properly, standing tall, having more curved rock-like spines upon its back. It proceeded to screech out. This beast, Zilla, has taken this area as its home for the past month. And now it's sensed another monster within it. And it wants to defend it. Izuku's eyes narrowed. He knew what this thing was. A creature in human territory. Yeah, it needed to be moved. He realized, well, time to move it. It proceeded to growl, "You're in my territory. Leave. Territory. This is human settlement. You're not supposed to be here. Leave. Find another. Find another." With all this amount of radiation that's around, left here, why would I do that? It's plenty for me to get stronger. Strong enough to take the class title as Alpha. Alpha. Izuku proceeded to remember. King of Alpha, or the King of the Monsters. Ah, yes. The title that he carries currently. Are you threatening to take my title? The Titan proceeded to stare. So you're the king. You don't look anything special. It would be nice to take the title as king. Rule over the other monsters. Make them do my bidding. I would like that. He proceeded to step forward, challenging. His eyes narrowed. This was a now personal attack. He was supposed to defend that title of everything he had. And he will. He growled at it. It was an order, a warning. You best leave this alone. His eyes narrowed. There was no way he was going to give up the title as Alpha to it. He stomped forward once. The two glared at each other, and then it begun. Another clash of titans. Zilla proceeded to rush forward. His speed was impressive. It rushed forward with a swinging tail swipe. He proceeded to catch it quickly. It was fast, but not strong. He pulled and tossed. It flung through the air, spinning around mid-pivot and landing upon its feet, and started running once again. He turned around and came rushing back in head first. It leaped into the air and slammed into him. He took several steps back just to catch it. It was clawing at him and biting. He grabbed it by the throat, pushing it off and slamming it. The beast snarled, growling. He used his tail to slap him away, preventing him from getting any closer. It already developed a plan. It was smart. Maybe as smart as him, or smarter. He proceeded to chase after, but he was slower, obviously. It started to burrow underground. He snarled at the fact that its cowardice would go that far. He looked for it, wondering where it went. He couldn't find it. He stared, looking, where the hell did it go? And then he saw it pop out behind him. He swung his tail. The tail proceeded to swing. Godzilla dodged first, then went for his side. It proceeded to sink its teeth into its side. He grabbed it by the head, removing its jaws, and proceeding to toss it. He healed pretty rapidly, right in front of them. They watched two behemoths clash and duke it out. Reese proceeded to stare. They're titanic. They're strong. And yet, that one seems like it's more holding back. Yes. So as soon as I proceed to stare, it does look like it's holding back. Suzuki proceeded to grab it, pushing against it. As the two proceeded to clash once more, dorsal started to glow brightly. Once again, that azure glow proceeded to shine. The atomic leviathan proceeded to breathe in, and then he breathed it out once again. The radioactive blast proceeded to fire. Zilla proceeded to dodge, moving away as his atomic breath proceeded to follow. The monster proceeded to dodge, weaving through buildings. Buildings came down, combusted, and exploded. He stopped, staring. Oh, it's too fast. Way too fast, way too quick on his feet. He couldn't just kill it. Well then, fine. If you can't just take it out like the normal way, you should just outsmart it. He heard the sounds of rubble. He walked forward towards where it was last seen and then saw there's a hole. Great, it burrowed yet again. We should wait for it to come up. He stared, looking around. Where would you pop up? It wants to attack his blind spot. He stared behind him for a moment. He saw the ground cracking right behind him, right beside his tail. He was ready. The moment that it burst through the ground, he proceeded to pivot his foot, turning around, grabbing it, and proceeding to spin. And then the next moment, he threw it. It flung through the air, crashing into a building. Dorsals flashed. He breathed in and fired. The azure breath proceeded to follow not long after. And where it landed, it hit. Boom! The large explosion shook. It sent a shockwave. He stared. It seemed dead. He watched. Well, at least it died. Or it's dead. Good. better than anything. As he stared, he proceeded to wonder, how the heck was he supposed to beat this thing? He beat it this way luck, or outsmarting it. As he waited for it to pop up, he realized that he did kill it. He relaxed, then paused. That thing wasn't so tough, actually. If anything, it didn't take much to take it down. It seemed easy to kill. Like, killing it would just be the very short thing to do, or a simple thing. Who knows that something like that would be easy to kill? More likely that it was weak and pathetic. Yeah, weak and pathetic sounds better. He turned his head towards all of the supernatural entities, staring at them all. Now, this was the bigger one. What the heck were all of these? And why are they all different? He didn't know what was going on. But one thing that came to his mind, it needed to be solved. It needed to be solved now, because they're not human. They had power. There is no quirks in this world, so it is simply left one thing. Not human. He lowered his head, staring at them all. The first one to step up was a man with slicked back hair and golden bangs. He was relaxed, casual. I see that the reputation of the king does precede you, your majesty. He stared at him. I am Azazel, and I'm assuming you are Godzilla, aren't you? The king of the monsters. You're quite a legend within Japanese folktale. His eyes narrowed. He knew who he was, or the monster who he is, not the being who stuck in it. He couldn't speak like this, not in this form. He glowed, and then he started to shrink down to size, getting smaller and smaller until he was back to his 5'11", 5'6", 5'7" height. And then he stared at Azazel. Or was he 5'11"? He couldn't remember. He stared at Azazel, looking at him, then demanded, "All right, you got my attention. Who are you? How do you know my existence?" Exactly. And know what I am. The man smiled. I didn't know the Monster King could shrink. But I am Azazel. I bring you no harm. No harm, you say? Yeah, I want to believe that, but how the very fact I saw just moments ago, this place being a battlefield, not so much. Well, any other being like yourself would be confused, yes. But I can say, Your Majesty, no one is a threat here, except them, of course. Pointing at the Chaos Brigade. But we are all just wondering, how is something like you here? I felt something calling to me. The real question is, what's going on here? Because There's something definitely going on here.